Hi, welcome to Sacred Brand Strategy Coaching, and today we're going to be talking about how the lunar eclipse is going to help you with your personal development and your brand strategies. My name is Shantali, and I am a Vedic astrologer and a brand strategy coach, and let's get right into what this lunar eclipse means for you and your brand. On September 17th, we're going to be experiencing a lunar eclipse and full moon in the nakshatra Purva Bhadra Pada. And that nakshatra is in the zodiac sign Pisces. But Purva Bhadra is known for its ability to guide us through profound transformation. This energy encourages you to shed old, unaligned brand narratives and make space for new opportunities. It's the ideal time to revisit your brand's core mission, making sure that it aligns with your soul's purpose and your spiritual path. This is also a time of release. We release during the full moon, a period where you can let go of what no longer resonates with your brand. By releasing old messaging, old services, and lovingly releasing old partnerships that are no longer in alignment with where you're going, you can create space for fresh, inspired growth that feels like it's in alignment with your higher purpose. Eclipses create powerful and profound transformation. And as you know, with transformation, there's always a letting go of the old to create something new. Let's dive deeper into how this full moon and lunar eclipse influence your brand strategy based on your rising sign. This insight will help you understand where to focus your energy for maximum alignment and brand success. Aries rising. The full moon and the lunar eclipse is going to be in your 12th house. The 12th house represents spirituality. It represents letting go. But the 12th house is where you can really go within. The 12th house represents who you really are. It's not like the first house that represents what people can see of you, how people perceive you. The 12th house is who you really are. So this is a time to go deep within so you can focus on your spiritual alignment with your brand. And you can use this time to, just like I said in the general reading for this lunar eclipse, you want to make sure that you're clearing out outdated offerings and make sure you are unlocking your deeper purpose-driven elements of your brand. You want to bring those to the forefront, okay? Because the full moon's energy in your 12th house is guiding you to refresh your internal processes and transform from within before making big public moves. And the reason I'm saying that is because while the moon is in your 12th house, asking you to go within, is actually preparing you to be more public when it goes to your first house in a couple days after the full moon. Okay? So it's preparing you. You're going to notice after the full moon that you'll have seems like more people are drawn to you, or you're going to want to take more action to be out in the public. But you want to make sure that you're getting the internal deep connection with your brand and making that in alignment so that when the moon does go to your first house that represents your personality and how people see you, that is in alignment. Okay? So that's what I have for you, Aries rising. Taurus rising. This full moon, this lunar eclipse is going to be in your 11th house. And the 11th house represents large network circles, and it represents your audience. And the 11th house also represents your dreams and your wishes. So your brand strategy for this full moon for the next 2 weeks is to grow your online community and engage with a larger audience. And this could mean, aside from you growing your online community, this also means you need to get into other people's larger groups. And you also want to keep in mind, with this expansive energy, you also want to make sure you are thinking about public speaking to larger groups. With Jupiter ruling Pisces, you want to think expansive energy. Okay? So you want to expand in your groups and expand with your long-term vision and expand when it comes to public speaking. Okay? That is your brand strategy for the next 2 weeks, Taurus rising. And let me say, not even the next 2 weeks, because with eclipse energy, we feel this energy for months and months, sometimes 3, sometimes 6 months. So this is what you want to be focused on, Taurus rising. Gemini rising. The full moon and lunar eclipse is going to be in your 10th house. And the 10th house represents your career, and it represents your public image. So this lunar eclipse is shining a light on your public image and your career. And it's telling you that it's time to bring something new to it. There's that transformative energy of the lunar eclipse coming up again. It's time for something new. It might not need to be brand new. You might not need to start from scratch, but look at what you're bringing to your career. Look at what you're bringing to the public, as far as services, as far as products, as far as the way that you show up. What do you need to let go of? What is no longer serving you? And what is new that you need to show that will establish you more, that shows your dedication, that shows your discipline to your craft, to what you do? How can you bring that out more, Gemini rising? Okay, that is your brand strategy for now and until this energy of the eclipse season is over, which I've said before can last up to 6 months. So that's what you really want to focus on. Okay, now Cancer rising. The lunar eclipse is going to be in your 9th house, and the 9th house represents higher knowledge and teaching. So this is your brand strategy, overarching brand strategy for the next 6 months. This is your time to share wisdom and step into a role of leadership. Use this lunar energy to enlighten your audience by offering courses, webinars, and teaching that aligns with where you are right now. Let the eclipse guide you in expanding your brand's reach through education and higher knowledge. So to break that down even more, Cancer rising, you need to let it be known that you are a teacher. You have the wisdom. And it's not like you're bragging, but you don't want to hide it. Don't hide what you know. Don't hide your knowledge. Don't hide your skills as a teacher. Pisces represents what's hidden, okay? And the fact that the lunar eclipse is illuminating in your 9th house, it's no longer okay to hide what you know. It's no longer okay or acceptable to hide your wisdom, what you've been learning about. It's no longer okay. There's no more I will wait. There's no more let me just get this done, okay? For the next 6 months, you are a teacher, okay? You share what you know, you let it out, and it's, like I said, it is unacceptable to hide. Leo rising. The lunar eclipse is going to be in your 8th house, and the 8th house represents transformation and finances. So your brand strategy, Leo rising, is to understand that this 8th house eclipse brings deep transformation to your brand's financial strategies. Consider restructuring partnerships. Consider restructuring joint ventures. or unlocking new revenue streams. This is a time for strategic risk-taking. This is a time for strategic risk-taking, but make sure your moves are in alignment with your brand's core values. Now, the reason I say strategic risk-taking is because the 8th house, it represents things that happen, accidents that happen. So you want to make sure you're protecting your money from ups and downs, because that's the energy of the 8th house is, ups and downs, transformations, things happening out of nowhere, drastic changes. So you want to make sure that you're protecting that with strategies, but you also want to make sure that you are creating newness in your finances some type of way. Like I said, with new revenue streams, with new joint ventures, with partnerships. You want to make sure you're bringing in new, because with that transformation of the 8th house, working with the transformational energy of the lunar eclipse, we are letting go of old, and this could also include old fears about your brands or your personal finances. You want to let go of the old so you can bring the new in, but you're also preparing yourself and being strategic about safeguarding the finances that you already have or that you're already bringing in. All right, there you go, Leo rising. Virgo rising. The lunar eclipse is going to be in your 7th house, and your 7th house represents partnerships and relationships. So your brand strategy is to be reflecting on your partnerships that you've created. Be reflecting on your collaborations that you have created. Now is the time to reassess who you're working with. Is who you're working with empowering you, or are they disempowering you? Are they helping you grow, or are they keeping you stagnant? Are they even connecting with you anymore at all? You want to make sure moving forward that your partnerships are on board with you and that they are aligned with who you are and what your brand is. Okay, so this energy of Pisces, as I keep saying, it represents hidden things. And in the class that I was teaching Wednesday, I was explaining how in Pisces, you can find your hidden enemies. So in your 1st house, Virgo rising, Virgo represents enemies, regular enemies, like, people that you don't mess with, people that you don't really connect with. And, you make it clear to them or they make it clear to you, we don't really mess with you like that. But in Pisces, that's where you have enemies that could be causing confusion and making you feel like they're true partnerships. They're hidden. In Pisces, you could have enemies that are deceptive and manipulative. They could be dishonest. So this is what you want to be aware of. Who are you working with? And this energy of the eclipse illuminating, shining a light on your partnerships, you might come to realize that some of the people that you've been partnering with are not what they seem to be, are not what they represented themselves to be. And when you notice that, don't lie to yourself and trust yourself. Understand that a light is being shined on this person, on this partnership, so you can lovingly release it and take your power back, because it's draining you, Virgo rising. Partnerships that are not in alignment with you and your brand are draining you. So lovingly let it go so you can get your power back, your energy back, and connect with people who are there for you. All right? That is your overall brand strategy for the next 6 months with this lunar eclipse energy, Virgo rising. Libra rising. This lunar eclipse is going to be in your 6th house, And the sixth house represents your daily work routine and also how you can be of service to your audience. Okay? So with your daily work routines, you want to make sure that you're focusing on time management. You want to make sure that you're focused on your routines, okay? And with this transformational energy, you're releasing your routines that are in alignment with where you want to go, with your goals that are working against you. And you want to incorporate new work routines that hopefully save you time and save you energy, save you from losing your mind. You want to focus on that. You want to focus on project management. You want to focus on SOPs, whatever you can do to make things more systematic and easier for you. That's what you want to do with your daily routines. Now, when it comes to being of service, you want to make sure that you are providing as much value to your audience as you can. Focus on the value, Libra rising. And that is your brand strategy for until the next 6 months. Focus on value and streamlining your daily work routine. Scorpio rising. The lunar eclipse is in your 5th house. And the 5th house represents creativity and creative self-expression. So Scorpio rising, your brand strategy for the next 6 months with this lunar eclipse energy is to make sure that you are creating things with boldness. You have to express yourself with boldness. This could mean more public speaking for you, but doing it boldly. You might want to look into how you can be more confident with your public speaking. How can you be more confident and bold in your social media, on your lives, in your videos? How can you add more boldness to your expression? Okay? And you want to take bold steps also with your branding, with your brand strategies. Don't let fear keep you from doing anything that you need to do with your brand. This will be the wrong time for that, Scorpio. So you want to make sure that do some reflecting, because this is what this lunar eclipse is all about. Letting go of the old so you can embrace the new. Letting go of old fears about public speaking so you can embrace the new. So you can allow new opportunities to come in from your bold expression and creativity during this lunar eclipse. Sagittarius rising. This lunar eclipse is going to be in your 4th house. And the 4th house represents foundations and the home. What's interesting for you, Sagittarius, is that you have the lunar eclipse in your 4th house, and then you'll also be having the solar eclipse in your 10th house. So there's a lot of transformation that you're going to be experiencing between your home life or your home business and your work environment and how you represent yourself to the public. A lot of change, a lot of transformation. And that's why it's important to go back to your foundations of who you are and also the foundations of your brand. So when I talk about foundations, you want to go back and look at your purpose. What is the purpose of why are you doing what you're doing? What are you doing it for? Is it still the same now as it was, 6 months ago, a year ago, maybe even 3 months ago? Is it still the same? What you want to make sure that you're paying attention to while you're going back and looking at your foundations and reassessing it is the expansive energy of Pisces. How can you expand? How can you think in more broader terms of what you can do and how you can serve than what you have been thinking and doing? Okay, so you want to make sure that you're doing that. It's time to restructure. Also, when you're looking at your foundations, I already stated that you want to look at reassess your brand's purpose. You want to reassess your brand's vision. Now, this is really in alignment with Pisces because we are talking about its ruler being Jupiter, which is the seer, which is the visionary, which provides clarity to our visions. And maybe you can get clear on your vision because you're currently thinking too small. That's a possibility. So make sure that you're thinking in an expansive way. Also, you want to be, another aspect of your foundation is, okay, purpose, vision, mission, okay? How is your brand going to carry out its vision? Has your mission been in alignment with your vision? Your values are another part of your brand's foundation. Do you need to reassess your brand's values? Have you transformed your values? Do you see your brand's values? Now, when I say values, I'm thinking about the value of your brand. But typically when we talk about brand values, we're talking about, what do you hold near and dear to you? What is important to you? For me, it's that people are in alignment with their purpose. But what is it for you? What are your values? Have they changed? Do you need to reassess them? Go back to your foundation and think expansive. All right, Sagittarius rising, that is your brand strategy for the next 6 months. Capricorn rising. The lunar eclipse is going to be in your 3rd house of communication and marketing. So your overall brand strategy is to remember that this eclipse asks you to refine your brand's communication strategies. Whether it's social media or blog content or your email list, this full moon's energy supports a transformation in how you reach your audience. Empower your messaging by ensuring it aligns with your brand's core purpose. Okay, so that's what you want to reassess. How are you reaching your audience, and how can you transform that? How can you expand that? How can it be more in alignment with who you are? Is it authentic? Okay, that's what you want to be thinking about, Capricorn rising, for the next 6 months, your overall brand strategy. All right, Aquarius rising. The lunar eclipse is going to be in your 2nd house, and the 2nd house represents your finances and your assets, how you accumulate wealth. So your brand strategy, Aquarius, is to remember that the eclipse is in your 2nd house, inviting you to reassess your financial strategies. Whether it's updating your pricing, because we're talking about value. So just like I was trying to talk about before, when I was talking about brand values, this is really talking about how you value your brand. How do you value yourself? You want to make sure that your pricing is in alignment with where you want to go. You want to revisit your offerings, your offer. You really want to focus on making sure your offer shows your value. And you also want to make sure you're discovering new income streams. This is a time to unlock greater financial abundance for your brand. But there's going to have to be something that is transformed, because you can't keep doing the same thing expecting something different. That is the definition of insanity. So if you want something different for your finances, you're going to have to do something different. You're going to have to think different about your value and your brand's value. You're going to have to let go, definitely, of lack mindsets. Let those go. Embrace the energy of abundance, okay? So this is your brand strategy for the next 6 months, Aquarius rising. Now, Pisces rising, this is going to be powerful for you because the lunar eclipse is going to be in your first house. And your first house represents your identity and it represents yourself. And it's basically a summary of your whole life. So, with this being powerful for you, Pisces rising, you want to make sure that you remember that the full moon and the lunar eclipse is going to bring transformation to your personal brand, transformation to your brand identity. You might go over a complete overhaul of your brand. You might make drastic changes and transformations in your brand. Why? Because you Pisces rising and Virgo rising, you guys are going to experience some of the deepest transformations during this lunar eclipse. So make sure, like I said before, that as you transform, you're keeping your brand in alignment with that transformation. And it's time to unveil the truest version of yourself through your brand's personal identity and visual identity, also through your messaging. This is a major period for rebranding and realigning your brand. So reflect on your soul's mission, okay? As we journey through this sacred full moon and lunar eclipse energy, remember that this is your opportunity to deeply align with your brand and its higher purpose. Whether you're releasing what no longer serves you or unlocking new creative potential, this lunar event will guide you toward your brand's higher path. Thank you for listening. If you found this helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to stay updated on future content that will help you align your brand with your higher purpose. And for those looking to gain more clarity and confidence in their digital marketing, I invite you to sign up for my upcoming webinar, Align Your Digital Marketing Strategy with Astrology, 30 Days to Clarity, Confidence, and Success. This webinar is on September 27th, 2 p.m. It's 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And together we'll explore how to use astrology to create a marketing strategy that aligns with your soul's mission and sets you up for success. Until then, remember that your brand is sacred.